list, first item, and I'm going to get the number of people. This is number of people from the first dictionary in the list. I'm going to add them to the second one, 110. And now go to Python. We installed Miniconda together last week, or Anaconda. So if you are using Miniconda on your laptop, please run Jupyter Notebook. And if you haven't installed anything, connect to VPN. You will have access to jupyterhub.partners.org, which is provided by Aris. It's a Python Jupyter Notebook directly hosted on the hospital system, so you'll be able to connect it as long as you are in the VPN. I'm going to use hospital VPN, but if you have yours, please run your Miniconda. So to use hospital system, you have to be within the VPN, and the address is jupyterhub.partners.org. If you type this, you will see a selection. I normally select the first one. Then it will load a page like this. This is your home directory in the Aris server, which means that in the Jupyter Notebook that you write your code in can access all the files on the Jupyter. Okay, so here I'm gonna click on New button, and then I'm gonna click on Python 3. So quick recap. We did various data types. Data type is important because a set function, or the function that we are trying to use, expects a specific data type. For example, this function requires numbers or names, as in strings. So you need to know your data types. Let me create a data type 3 and then see what this data type is by looking at type. So 3 is integer. What is 3.14? Type is a float. I'm gonna set A as haha this time. And what is it? It's a string, okay? So say A is 3. Can you add A plus 5? Yes, because A is 3. I'm gonna set A as 3.14. And then I'm gonna add 5 to 3.14. Yes, it works. But say when A is haha, can I do this? No. It returns you type error, and this error is most common error that we or many other people make, because a set function requires you to give you the right type variable. Okay? And then we started playing around with list last time. So A equals, this time is a list of strings. Haha, ho ho, Kevin, this time. So if you do A, let's do type A, it's a list. Can I add 5 to the list? No, because A is a list, and you can't just add 5 to the list. To put it into the list, to put in 5 into the list, you had to do A dot append, open parentheses, and 5. Let's see if 5 has been added. 5 has been added to your list. Okay, so it's a list variable. So it's a number of items grouped together in a single variable. Okay, so before we do slicing, let's do dictionary. So dictionary was something different. Dictionary had a key and value combination. So key and value example can be name, could be Kevin, and location could be Fenway, and age could be 95, something like this. And then A returned me a dictionary, which has a direct relationship between the value and the key. So when I look at the type of A, is a dict, and I could get the items from dictionary by giving the key. To make a dictionary return your value, you just give key. What was location? Fenway. Like this, okay? Then we missed one type last week. So there's another type called Boolean. A equal, you can give true. What is A? It's just true. It's not a string. It's a true or false. It's just one or two binary variable. When I do type A, is letting me know there's a Boolean. So we can do also A is false. A is false. This is not a string. This is Boolean. And just remember, we have to type it without the quotation mark, unlike string. And then T has to be in capital, and F in false has to be in capital. That was basic variables. There are a few more variables in Python, but you don't have to know this at this stage. You can do great coding, even just knowing a few variables like this. Today, we will do slicing. So let me... some space. Okay, today is about slicing. Let's make a list called B. You can make it up. Any items. 2, 300. I'm gonna put in even billion. So what is B? Is a list. And I just type B. It's giving me the whole list. What if I want to get just one of the items from the list? So you do something called slicing. So B brackets, then you do 0. The numbering in Python starts from 0. So first item is 0, which is called index. Index 0 represents the first item. So if I do this, it will return you the first item from the list. And you can even assign the first returned item to something else and save it in another variable. And this will return the second variable, which was a 1. Okay? 2, 3, 4, and so on. But you can get more than one item from a list. You can use colon. Let's do colon. And then number 3. Oops, my bad. B and brackets, colon 3. This is going to return me 3 items. To be honest, this slicing is still confusing to me. I double check every time and I use colon stuff like this. But it's easier if you think your number... First one is 0, so put your 0 here, 1 here, 2 here, and if you do 3, you're going to get everything up to 3. You're not going to include 3, okay? If you do 4, you will include 4 items, but you're not going to include 100. This is a bit confusing. So numbering starts from 0 here, but slicing ends one before, okay? Don't worry about it, it's fine. Let's do B minus 1. If you do this, it's going to grab the last item from the list. What if you do B minus 2? It's going to grab the second item from the end. You can do the same thing, like minus 3, and then colon. It's going to return me 3 items from the back. Okay? All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, there's another function in list. So if you do B dot index, so out of all the items, I want to look at the index of It returns 6, which means it's on the 7th item. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so something, the list dot index, open brackets, and actual item returns you a index of that item. If there's a duplication of the items, it's going to give you the first index. All right, let's do B again. What if I not only get the first item, but define it? Nothing happens. But if you look at the B, I just replace the first item into something else. I'm going to replace the last item into something else. Okay, so you now can grab specific items from the list, and you can now even replace some of the items into something else. Okay, and we did adding an item to the list. Okay, so this is list manipulation. All right, we can do a similar thing with the dictionary. Let me go back to the Kevin example. So Fenway and age 95, 88. And I can get Kevin by giving a name. I can get Fenway by a location. You can get all the keys by the dictionary dot keys, open and close parentheses. It's giving you all the keys. And if you do a dot values, then it's going to give you all the values from the list. And then sometimes you can turn them into list and then work on them, or work with the key and value combination. What if you do a keyboard. It just added another value, another key value combination to the A. Now you can save information in a list or in a dictionary in a specific ways that you want. Okay, that's good. So we have about 20 minutes left, but I have a test for you. Have a go at this. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes and then let's go through them together. So I want you to make a dictionary called place_dict_1, and I want you to make a dictionary representing a place. You can have keys like address, phone number, number of people in the place, whatever you want. So make a dictionary of a place, make another one, okay? Using the same keys or slightly different, whatever. And then I want them to be merged into a single list called place_dict_list. Okay, so this list will have 2 dictionaries in them. First place, second place. This is a list, okay? And then I want you to extract the phone number from the first place that you put in into place_dict_list, and then second phone number from the second place. Okay, have a go at this. You get it when you have a go at this. Okay, let me go through them. So create a dictionary called place_dict1, place_dict1, representing a place, and it's a dictionary. So example keys to use is address. I give address 1249 Boylston Street. And then phone number 123 124 12344. And I can also give number of people in the building 100. Okay, that was number 1. Create another dictionary called place2, representing another place. I'll just copy this and paste it. Just let me tell you. So line breaks in Jupyter Notebook, if it's inside the list or inside a dictionary, you can break the line after comma without anything. So you can just break the lines like this. Let me just slightly change the address, 24 and 4321, but it has 10 people. And it's dictionary 2 for second place. That was number 2. And then create a list called place_dict_list and append the dictionaries above. So I'm gonna create place_dict_list, which is a list. And I'm gonna just put them in place_dict1 and place_dict2. Okay. Let me see how it looks like. Place_dict_list. If I do this, it shows me the 2 dictionaries which has been added to a list. Get the value of phone number from the first dictionary. Let's just imagine that we don't have this. We don't have place_dict1, place_dict2, but only place_dict_list. So we do place_dict. From this list, you need to get the first item first. So get the first item, and then the first item here is a dictionary. So you need to give the key, which is the phone number. Okay? Do the same for the second item, place_dict_list, and phone number. You can get the second phone number. Okay? And number 6, get the number of people in the first place and second place and add them. Okay, so we can do the same thing, place_dict_list, first item, and I'm gonna get the number of people. This is number of people from the first dictionary in the list. I'm going to add them to the second one. 110. Okay? So create another dictionary called place3, representing another place. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. Let me make another place. and then into 3, change the address into something else, phone number to something else, number to something else. Okay, we now have place dict 3, and then add place dict 3 into the list. Place dict list, we can append it. Append place dict 3. Let's see how it looks like. Place dict list. Yep, there are 3 items of places. Okay, number 9. Make an empty dictionary called people dict. People dict. Make it empty. And then make another dictionary of yourself called me_dict. And then example keys to use is name, Kevin, hobby, chemist, and hometown, and free today. I'm gonna give it a boolean, true. Phone number 13, 93, and then close it. Let me give you a line break here. So that's done. 10's done. Link me dict as your name to the people dict. Okay. How do we add items to the dict? People dict, Kevin, and then just link me dict. Shall I look how people dict look like? It looks like this. So there's a key called Kevin, and then there's a dictionary. So you can make a dictionary of dictionary of dictionary and dictionary. You can represent quite complex structures using dictionary. Okay? So repeat 1 to 10. You can make another one, and then just change the name into J, hobby, nothing, hometown, Boston. It's not free today. And then I'm going to call it JDict. JDict, okay? And I'm going to add it to people dict. People dict, J, this is JDict. How does your people dict look like? It looks like this. It's getting more complex. Okay, get your phone number from people dict. So my phone number, Kevin's phone number, I need to tell from people dict, key first, which was capital Kevin, and then I need to get a phone number. Okay? You can do something similar to get any other information that you want to get. Add list of friends to each dict. Okay, so now I want to add list of something to each of the dictionary. The question is a bit confusing, but I wanted to do this. So say people dict Kevin, and in there I want to create another key called friends. And this time, this is not a string, this is not a number, but a list. I just added another information to Kevin dictionary inside people dictionary. Let's see how it looks like. This looks like this. And now we have new key and value set inside Kevin dict. Okay? Well, this might be a little confusing, but we are working with a data structure that can represent quite complex different data relationships and data content as well. So I know many of you are involved in U24 project. If you know the U24 Redcap file, so Redcap is very complex for U24, and Redcap can be downloaded in JSON format, which can be represented into dictionaries. So say we have subject name, we know when the subject was interviewed, and we know when and what kind of variables or different data types this subject went through on which date. We can represent that using dictionary, and we can extract the information that we want from the dictionary of dictionaries, and that has multiple dictionaries in them. This is quite common data structure to work with, and quite useful when you have a bunch of information like U24 RedCap, you can extract the information that you want, as long as you know the right key. Okay? Okay. So let me quickly recap what we did today. Okay. So we started with them. We learned how to set numbers and how to set relative numbers. We can move by line number. We could delete the lines. And we can now set the line to the center. And then we can delete the whole line. We can delete 100 lines now. We can now copy the line. We can now copy the line, and we can select the characters that we want to copy and then paste them above, paste them below, paste 100 times. Now we can grab things by visual mode, by blocks. So we can add blocks, we can copy blocks, we can delete blocks. That's what we did on the Vim. And on the Python part, we focused on creating a list, creating a dictionary, mixing dictionaries with list, adding things to dictionary, removing things from the dictionary, and then changing things from dictionary and the list. Okay? Next time we will get to loop and if statement, which is at the core of the programming. Yeah, that's it for today.